Hi, everyone. I'm Simone Simpson from Wondering Yoga Cafe Entertainment, and I want to welcome you to our 30-day, one meal a day challenge. Hello, this is day 8 of our one meal a day challenge. How are you doing? How are you feeling? I am feeling amazing. So much energy, doing amazing things at work that are the result of just clarity of mind, coming faced with life changes. My mom got sick, and then challenges at work. And I was like, I'm going to come through this like I'm going to build a castle out of my world. And so met with a regional director, had a goal of coming out of that meeting with 6 strategies of what I could do to align what I'm doing to be more in alignment with what we're doing, with the direction our company's taking. Did that within 5 days. My numbers have improved so much that I just got like, they just give us money for doing it. It's not much. It's like $400. They were like, oh, if you meet these metrics by within 9 days, get an extra $400. It's just little things like that, just little bits of incentive along the way. So I was like, oh my gosh, I met that. I was like, this is amazing. So just amazing times, feeling really good. I'm really enjoying what intermittent fasting is doing for the way that I feel, for my clarity of mind. Look at that. Just looking at my barrettes. This side of my hair got wet, so I have curly hair. So my stylist flat ironed it, so kind of temporarily straightened the curls, and then this side got wet, so it's a little bit shorter than that side, because you know, when curls, it's like if you have a strand of ribbon and it's straight, it looks this long, but if you run scissors along it and then it kind of looks shorter, but it's actually not. That's what curly hair does. So if it gets a little bit wet, it just makes it look shorter. So it's kind of funny when I look in the mirror. I'm like, first I was like, why does one side look shorter than the other? And I was like, oh, it got wet. So that's what's going on here, but I'm feeling good. So laughing at things, enjoying life. I wanted to talk to you. Oh, today's quote. This is a good one. And again, these quotes are coming from experiences that I'm having in my own life. Today's quote is, your increased vibration. Now, your vibration is how you feel. And there's a way that you normally feel. So for me, my standard way of feeling is happy. I'm normally at happy. Like I can laugh in any situation. Like there's always something funny I'm going to find. So if you see me and I'm not happy, if I have a dip, that's going to be temporary, because I'm going to find a way out of that. Like had you seen me a week ago, I wasn't happy, but I was working on it, because I'm like, the more time you spend at happy when you're not happy, the more uncomfortable that makes you feel. And I was like, I've got to get my mindset right, because I don't want what's going on around me to dictate how I feel. And so my mom got sick last week, so I was really dealing with that, and dealing with, oh, I wish, I want someone around me and to help. I want to get married, and then I want my brother to help, and he passed away. So all this stuff was going on. And it ended up, so much strength came out of me, something like magicness came out of it. But I'm just this workshop that I've been listening to, saying that when you get to a point that things are so bad, that's because parts of your things that were in your subconscious are ready to be released, and are ready to come up and go and be released, because they're no longer a part of you. So you get to what seems to be the worst part of your life, and then they come up. And that, I'm so glad I heard that workshop, because that's exactly what happened. I was at a point and I was like, how am I going to how am I going to step forward from this? And I felt like that. And then I had this cry where I was like wailing, crying, like, ah, but it was more like, an affirmation of what I wanted and a release of how I was feeling. That's what it was. It wasn't it was more of an ask. And from that came this amazingness, like this forgiveness that flooded me for just things that I had been harboring. It's so easy to forgive now. Like I'm going through like even little ridiculous things, like colleagues. I'm like, I forgive you for what you did or for what you're doing. I honestly do. So just put me in such a good space of love and of power. And I'm doing so amazingly well at work and my life and answers. And so that is how I'm feeling, like this just amazingness. But I'm just so glad through all of this that I had this intermittent fasting, because in previous years, when I was upset, I would go to food. So basically, when I needed my mind clear, I was taking all that blood, putting it in my stomach, and it was just busy grinding food versus if you're upset, it's better almost to keep your stomach empty so that the blood can go to your brain so that you can think more clearly. And so that's what I did through this. And I'm just in this state that I don't think I've felt this high before, this good, this clear, this light, this non-attached to what's going on around me. Just this ability just to give love no matter what. And it just feels so good. So yeah, that's where I am today. And I wanted to, oh, that's where the quote came from. So increased vibration, which is how you feel. And again, it's not so much in that second. What is your go-to? So if you had to look at 24 hours in a day, we're going to maybe subtract the hours that you're sleeping, maybe go down to 20 hours if you're sleeping shorter days. Some of us don't sleep as much. So 20 hours, 18, 16, whatever that amount of time is. So let's just say for 16 hours of the day, how are you generally feeling? Do you wake up smiling? Are you generally at happy? Are you generally at frustrated and get happy when you see certain things? Or so when you increase your vibration, and if you go to the website meditationrising.com, there's a vibrational chart. So it actually shows you a scale, a vibrational scale. And you can look at the vibrations, the lowest being pity, grief. There, it just climbs up, rage, then anger, frustration. So they go up and up, apathy. Then you get to hope, and then you get to love. And love and above is where it's where that connection is with all that power. And so when you raise your vibration, back to our quote, you raise your vibration, you will raise your standards. Your standards will raise. And when your standards raise, your expectations raise. So when your vibration is raised, remember that's how you feel. When that's raised, and it's not a temporary thing. There were times when I wanted certain people to act differently, or I wanted to make different choices in friends or boyfriends, and I wasn't doing it. So who I was with, I was like, oh, they're doing these things and I'm frustrated with this behavior. But my vibration raised to a point, and I noticed it November. I went to a workshop. I noticed when I got back, my vibration raised, my standards raised. Boop. It's like it went boop. And certain people in my life, I just couldn't tolerate anymore. It's like I just couldn't even talk to them. And the people I love, but my standards are different. Now I have different standards for what I expect in a friendship. Just a mutualism. If I'm sharing, and if I'm a guidepost for you, then you should be a guidepost for me. It's not going to be a one-way street. You know, I'm not going to give free counseling away in a friendship. That's me being used. And I did it voluntarily. So I'm not mad at people and the way things were, but I've got a few people in my life who are just nonstop reaching out, and they're getting nothing from me because I'm in a different space. My expectations raised. If you are my friend, I have an expectation. If you're coming to me as a counselor, then you can book a session on my site, and I will lovingly and gladly spend that time with you, because I definitely can help and I want to help. But if you're coming to me as a friend, then it's going to be a give and take. And I want to hear your celebrations. I'll tell you mine. Even when my friends were here last weekend and my mom was in the hospital, the majority of the time we were celebrating. I did tell them what was happening, but it was from a space of, I'm seeing her in this place of health and wellness. And I basically was saying it because I talked to one of my brother's friends, and he was just kind of going down this spiral of how bad things are and this is how they're going to be. And so when I was talking to him, I was like, I don't want to ever talk to him again. I was like, because that's not how I see this. And so I wasn't dumping on them to get them to feel better. I actually was looking at that as, oh, good, a release. I get to just feel good for the time that I'm with them. And it was such a good release. We went to a show and just had fun and great talks. And so it doesn't mean you won't go through things if you're friends with me, but it just means you're not going to come and dump on me. You're not going to go, I feel so bad, let me call her so I can feel better, so she can do some free counseling. Now, again, I would love to do that, but you're going to book some time on my site, and then I'm going to be able to spend some good quality time with you. And we're going to walk, and I'm going to work you through this. We'll get through that. I'm going to give you some really good strategies, and you're going to work yourself through it with these strategies, but it will be, you will come out of that conversation feeling much better. But that's going to be booking some time on my site, not you calling saying, oh, you're a friend, but really knowing it's not a friend, that you're using me for something. So when your vibration raises, your standards will just raise, and then your expectations will raise. And my standards raised, but it was to a point, it was things I had already wanted. At a time, I was like, well, I'd really love to have friends who travel all the time, travel around the world the way I do. I'd love to have friends who are happy, who celebrate life, who know how important it is to feel good. And so now that's what I have, and feeling really good. So some friends fell out of my life. My boyfriend fell out of my life. Well, not really, I broke up with him, but I still see him, but not as far as boyfriend, girlfriend in any way, just friends, and not friends who do boyfriend, girlfriend things, but literally just friends. And he's having a hard time with that, but my standards raised, and I love him. I'm not angry with him. Alfredo, you're just gorgeous. He's gorgeous, but I have different expectations. And so if you're going to be my boyfriend, then there's certain things that I expect. And I tell him that when we're together, I'm like, it's okay that and I think he can't get it through his head. He just thinks if he keeps trying, then we can maybe do boyfriend, girlfriend things, but not be boyfriend, girlfriend. I'm like, no, that's not going to happen. And in fact, boyfriend, girlfriend things, that's with someone who there would be potential for marriage, is the way I look at it. So yeah, so broke up with him, but my standards literally just raised all of a sudden. I was just done with so many people, even some relatives, that had been kind of hanging me on a string and being rude, and nothing to them, but it was me accepting that. I was like, oh, we don't have to talk. It's okay. so that happened. And I noticed even another friend, I would message her periodically. She wouldn't respond. And, I meditate a lot. So I would maybe think, wow, she didn't respond. And I meditate, and then I'm happy, so I don't think about it. And so that went on for a while. And then she ended up really reaching out to me, wanting a response. But I'm like, you're no longer on the front line, you're on the back burner because of all the times I reached out to you with zero response ever. And it was yeah. So that happened. And then most recently, a friend of my mom's called, where she messaged yesterday that she wanted to come by to see my mom. She's like, just briefly, but she asked how my mom was doing. I said, much improved. She was like, I'm glad to hear that. I'm gonna come by today. And I said, okay, great. My mom's personal assistant will leave at about 12:30. So she said, okay, great, I'll come after that. And I was working yesterday, but I said, I'll give a half hour. So I planned a half hour in my day to be able to let her in and spend a little time, and then let her out of the house. And so I kept checking my phone, kept waiting, because she's not on favorites. So if she messages, I won't hear it, and nothing. And then finally by like 5:15, I thought, well, now it's actually too late, because it's time to start winding down for my mom, because she's in recovery. And so more sleep is necessary for me as well, because I get up at 4. So by 8 o'clock, I like to be in bed, because I meditate for an hour, or I listen to a workshop for an hour. So 7 o'clock, I'm taking a bath. So, but anyway, but there was no response. And then I think late, like almost 8 o'clock, a little around that time, she's like, oh, sorry, I didn't make it. I'll try to stop by tomorrow. And I'm thinking, no, you're not. Like, we scheduled an appointment, and you didn't show up, and you didn't cancel it. You are no longer on my list of prioritized people. Like, you're no longer a priority for me. You won't be showing up tomorrow. I won't be. But when that happened, I thought, I was really excited because I'm like, look how I have changed. And I'm not like making myself do this. I'm not like, I'm going to show her. It just, she went from being someone who I really looked up to as someone who's good for my mom, a great friend for my mom. You know, I love the love that my mom has for her friend, to she's on the back burner. Like my friends who I have in my life, not the ones I've let go, but my friends. And along the way of me releasing friends, I've got some great friends around me. But my friends, when we schedule things, if either of us decides we can't do it, we let the other know a day ahead. Like, oh, minimum a day ahead. Oh, even when we're Zoom calling. Oh, I know we were going to Zoom chat tomorrow. I'm not going to make it. Or I know we were going to Zoom chat a couple days from today. Okay, great. Like, we literally let each other know. And that's an expectation that I have. And so when she was like, oh yeah, I'll try to, I'm like, no, you won't. I'm not going to, you're now on the back burner. I'm not going to make any more time for you ever. Like, I just won't. Now, when my mom is better, my mom can spend time with her. That's fine. I mean, I'm not angry with her, but I know you scheduled an appointment, you know, call no showed, you basically ghosted. And so now you're no longer a priority, but this is a good thing because I'm like, wow, I'm so different now. So it's really good because I want to get married and I'm going to get married. And so I know that I am the person who's going to attract this wonderful man. And I'm excited. I want to look back on this video to see what it's all about once he comes into my life. But I am actually the person now who I can attract someone who's like me, and I will just love him. I mean, oh my gosh, he's so great. So that's where the quote came from. So that's where the quote, your increased vibration leads to increased standards, leads to increased expectations, and it just happens. I mean, yes, you decide what your standards you would like to be. Oh, I want friends who do they're putting energy and effort and momentum, and you're efforting that until your vibration raises. Once your vibration raises, that just becomes a standard that you had already decided you wanted. And once that becomes a standard, then you have different expectations. So that's our theme for today. I want to talk about what I ate. So today's Saturday, so kind of like a flex day. So I was like Saturday, giving myself more time to eat, so more hours to eat if that's what you want to do during this first 30 days. Now the first 30 days is more relaxed. Remember, you are eating during that 1 to 2 hour window. It's Saturday, so you can have a little bit of a wider window if that's what you're wanting to do. So today I was like, let me do a wider window. So what time did I have a snack? I think at 11, no, 10, it was 10, that's right. It was 10 because I was like, oh, maybe I'll just do 10 to 1, but I didn't eat the meal from my meal card. I was going to do that because it's the end of the month. And so a lot more to do at work. It's a super exciting time. I love what I do. It's like, I don't know, I just love it. So I literally get into, yeah, I really love what I do. So it's an exciting time. So I was like, I don't want to spend the time cooking today, but we had a lot of leftovers that I had ordered, and healthier leftovers. Like there was a bowl of beans, just pinto beans that had a little bit of serrano peppers. So I heated that and some fresh broccoli, heated that up. And was there something? Oh, I chopped up onions with the broccoli, sauteed it with olive oil. And I thought I had something else. Yeah, that's what I ate. This intermittent fasting, it causes you just start eating less. You just start eating less. So that's what I had. I did have, so oh, that's right. I had seaweed chips. Let me show you. I had seaweed. Okay. So these are my seaweed chips. And so I had, yeah, I only had two. I had two of these. So these are delicious. I ordered these snacks. And when I ordered them, the thought was, well, because I'm doing intermittent fasting, I'm not going to have time to snack on something, because that 1 to 2 hour window, you literally only have time to eat your meal. Like there's no, when you're eating all day, you can snack, you've got, but that I think was one reason I said, let me eat at 10, because I had a delivery coming in, groceries being delivered. So that's what I ate today. And my mom, again, she's increasingly better. So that's feeling really good, just watching her recovery and watching her get stronger. And homework. Did you do your homework? Remember, that was measuring, 4 measurements, 4 picks, and weighing yourself. So hoping you got your homework done. This is day 8, so we already have a week behind us. So remembering that you want to have those measurements and your weight for that first week, because the changes will just be so much improved that you want at least those numbers of where you were, so you can celebrate. And again, you can do a drive-by weigh-in where you get an app that's linked to your scale, and then you weigh. You don't have to look at the number, but you'll hear on your phone when it links, it's like a so it links, and you know that it's recorded. Then you can look at that in a month, after a month of 1 meal a day, and go, oh wow. But no need to look at that number if it's going to make you feel bad, which is going to cause you to get off the 1 meal a day and depression eat. like no need to do that. So do a drive-by weigh-in just so you're recording that weight for the week, and then move on. And I wanted to talk about our tip for today. Intermittent fasting makes your heart stronger. So that's really good. It's really important. I mean, the heart does so much more than what old science has told us. It's linked to feelings, to how we feel. There's almost a brain in there, just information from Dr. Joe Dispenza about all this that happens in the brain, that the neurons that are there. And so definitely wanting to keep our heart strong. So there are positive changes in a lot of the biomarkers that affect the heart, that affect heart disease and the risk of stroke. And so intermittent fasting decreases blood pressure, decreases LDL, that is the bad cholesterol. You remember, by L being lousy, LDL, that decreases the LDL, decreases blood pressure, and decreases your triglycerides. So intermittent fasting does all of that. So really, really a good thing for your heart. And we want to have strong hearts. And time restricted eating as a whole gives your body time to repair itself. And I could tell literally my first day, the first night when I did intermittent fasting, the first night when I was in bed, I could just feel my body, and I was like, I feel better. And you can feel it. You can feel it when there's healing going on that needed to take place. You may not even know. Generally, once something manifests and you know something's wrong, it's been in the process for years of happening. So whatever was healing was something that I probably didn't know was manifesting, but that healed. So I was like, I feel better. I'm like, wow. I was laying in bed. I was like, feels easier to breathe. I just felt better. So this intermittent fasting is something that I'm excited about, but it has positive effects on your organs, on multiple organs, and your central nervous system. And it's just a positive feedback loop because of that. So it's a positive feedback loop. And so again, intermittent fasting gives you a stronger heart. So that's really good. And I wanted to do a celebration. So I have some red wine. I know I said we'd do champagne, but red wine has much better benefits. So I don't really drink champagne that often, unless I'm with my friend Armand. He's just such a connoisseur of celebrating life. And so I wanted to celebrate the successful completion of week 1. And yes, you're here. This is day 8. You successfully did it. regardless of if you kept your eating within that 1 or 2 hours, you successfully did it. We will continue to improve upon this. And we want to do this in a relaxed way. We're not going to like push through and be in pain for 2 weeks. We're easing our way into this. And so remember, our homework has been right now, what our homework will be for the upcoming week will be to, in the morning, you have your coffee or tea, and then water for 4 hours, okay? Coffee or tea, then water for 4 hours. We're just working our way up to the point where we do coffee or tea and then only water, and we eat during that 2-hour window. So we will eventually get to that probably by day 31, the second 1 meal a day, 30-day challenge, which will be day 31 for those of us who've continued. Some people will start there, but some of us will have started from day 1. So that will be day 31 for us. And a lot of you, I mean, regardless of how many challenges we've done, when you start watching this, you can start it at day 1 and just go through it, go through each day. So on day 31, that's probably when we'll start doing days where we just do water. We might do every other day. We'll see about that, but we'll do days where we're just doing our coffee or tea in the morning, water, eating our meal, then water. So we'll do that. So wanted to celebrate. Congratulations to you. Congratulations to me. Congratulate yourselves to a successful week 1. Cheers. And congratulations on looking forward to our successful week 2. And so again, just to review our quote for today, increased vibration leads to increased standards, leads to increased expectations. And it means it's something that won't have to be forced. It will just be natural. It will just happen. That guy, that girl who's in your life who doesn't, keeps doing these things, once your vibration raises, you'll no longer be a match to that. You'll no longer draw that type of person to you. Now, they might try to come back, but when your vibration raised, you can lovingly say, no more. No more. Those friends who may or may not be actual friends who are in your life because they are using you for counseling, for so they can dump on you and feel better. They'll fall out of your life and will be replaced with something that's so much better. So yes, so that's a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful time to be in. And thank you so much for being a part of this challenge. Yeah, day 8. Hope you have your tape measure. I really like this one. I actually have 2. My other one is the sage color of Meditation Rising, the logo. So loving that. But make sure you have your tape measure and your scale so you can do drive-by weigh-ins. Don't look at that number. Wait until 30 days, wait until you're at day 31 to look at the first week's numbers. Just measure, just do that. I did a challenge where I didn't actually I didn't weigh until 60 days in. And by the time I weighed myself, I needed new clothes. And so, because I was like, I didn't want to know what that number was. And I just didn't weigh, but let's do a drive-by weigh, get those numbers so you can see how you've improved. And thank you so much for being here. Again, I'm Simone Simpson from Wondering Yoga Cafe Entertainment, and I will see you tomorrow on day 9. You did it. 8 days of 1 meal a day. That's right.